not quite the interview I wanted to do at this point in the year.
Yeah.
But Katelyn Lehnen, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Let's just start with the obvious question. How does it feel right now? And what are you going through?
I mean, pain-wise, it's weird because I feel like normally when someone would be like, oh, I tore my ACL, I'd be like, oh, they're in excruciating pain. But honestly, like, the only pain I'm in is, like, if I, like, hinge at the knee, which like, was kind of deceiving at first because I was able to, like, walk off the court or walk to John's room at halftime. So I was, like, telling myself, oh, it's nothing, like, it's not going to be season ending. Like, I'm going to be back next week. So when John was like, Katelyn, I can't feel your ACL, I was like, well, that's weird because I can walk. So just, like, not exactly what I imagined when I thought of an ACL tear. So, like, the no pain kind of threw me for a loop. But mentally, I mean, doing the best you possibly can, I guess. I've had a lot of support, which has been great. And honestly, I would not be in the same mental state as that I am right now without those people surrounding me. Just constant reminders of that, like, God is sovereign and, like, this happened for a reason, and just so many people praying for me. And, like, that has honestly has made this process a lot easier. And I know I'm only in the beginning, like, process of it. I know it's going to get harder just because it's a long process. But I mean, these past few days of just, like, the unknown and, like, just trying to figure out what it is, it's been comforting to know that I have people who are going to support me.
Let's go back to last week. I mean, if you're writing an awful movie script, this is the way to do it.
I know.
Senior night.
Yeah.
One of the first plays of the game. Take me back to that moment because, I mean, the gym went about as silent as I've ever heard it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just remember hearing you say, I felt it. Go. And, you know, when you see John run over, your teammates come over, what goes through your head at that moment?
Honestly, I was in pure panic. It might have not been, I would say I have a pretty high pain tolerance, so it felt weird, it felt uncomfortable, so I wasn't, like, in excruciating pain, but it was, like, just all the thoughts going through my head, like, am I going to be able to play the rest of the season? Am I going to be able to run track? Like, am I going to lose a scholarship? Like, those were the thoughts that were going through my head. And so, like, I was just in pure panic mode, not even thinking about how badly my knee hurt, but it was just more of, like, what's my future going to look like? And so that was what was super nerve-wracking for me.
I have to share the funny part of it. When, you know, you asked Katelyn, did I make the shot?
Yeah.
And in that moment, there's so many things going through your head. But I just thought that was kind of funny. You as a competitor, obviously just wanted to get those 2 points and let you win the game.
Yeah, I asked about 3 girls on my bench. I was like, did you see it? Did it go in? They're like, Katelyn, we were watching you on the floor. And I said, well, I need to know if it went in. I mean, Moody didn't even know if it went in. She had to go check the book. And, like, once I knew that, you could crack a couple jokes with that, saying that at least I ended my season on a make. And my dad made a joke that, like, at least it helped your shooting percentage because I was 1 for 1 that game. So, like, it's fun to lighten the mood a little bit, but yeah, that just speaks to I want to win, so making that shot.
Unfortunately, this is a pretty common thing at this point. I mean, you look at people like Mason Marshall this year, who this happened to, and, you know, as an athlete, you train every day. You train with Caleb. You're doing all these things.
Yeah.
It's just an unfortunate thing, and so it's probably in the back of everyone's mind. But what happens in your mind when it actually happens to you? Like, what's that feeling like?
I mean, I've told many people, like, this, when it happened, I was like, I genuinely never thought this would happen to me. Like, I know that's, like, a thing that everyone says, but, like, with the amount of, like, strength training I've put in, and, like, my knees are pretty strong, like, I've prepared for this, like, I've gone through the strength stuff, so I was like, well, this isn't gonna happen to me, like, that's what happens to people who, like, don't train, which is completely wrong. But that just kind of was going through my head. And so, like, it actually happening to me is still kind of like a shock because, like, no way I'm out for 6 months. Like, that's kind of weird to, like, wrap your head around.
When's the last time you didn't do anything athletically for 6 months?
It's been a long
Maybe
time.
when you were born?
Yeah, that is definitely something. I'm like, I was talking to him, like, I have made sports my life. And like having 6 months where I'm just not gonna like be able to move my body in the way that I want to is gonna be a big change for me, and it's gonna be a challenge for sure.
For you to end your basketball career this way, I mean, you guys have had a lot of success in the last 2 years, and looking at the big picture of things, you know, you might play intramurals or whatever, but
Yeah.
What is it like to end your basketball career this way?
It's weird. Definitely not the way I wanted to go out, for sure. It's sad. No, like we were going through my laundry. We washed all my uniforms. I have a big pile of the things I need to return to Coach Riley. So and like basketball, I've been playing basketball since I was in like kindergarten. So like it's been the sport that's been in my life the longest. So like having to say goodbye to it is weird. Definitely wanted to go like out on a win or like go far with my team, because they are truly like the best teammates I've probably had in my whole entire life. Love being around them. Like Coach Riley has told me like you can take time for yourself. And I'm like, no, I just want to be around those people. Like those are the people that are gonna carry me through this injury. But definitely not excited with how I ended it, but I'm still gonna be there all the games. Love just, like I said, being around them, and like being able to still be a leader on the bench is still a huge role that I'm wanting to play.
Is there a team that's been hit with more injuries this year than your basketball team?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
Illness, yeah, I mean, everyone's going through it. It was because I think it was the game before we played, because we played back-to-back games, and it was Hope's first time. I think it was like one of the first times we had a full roster.
Yeah.
And like we were so excited to play all together finally again, and so it was sad that I had to mess that up. I guess it was just the luck that we're having this year.
These last 5 days, obviously when the injury happens, a lot goes through your head, but like you said, there's still that little bit of hope.
Yeah.
What's that like for the 5 days of just kind of having that hope, but kind of knowing, hey, this probably isn't going to turn out well, and I need to mentally prepare myself for that news that you got on Monday?
Yeah. Well, every person in my family kind of treated it differently, so I had a lot of different opinions going around in the house. Like I was still like, because like I said, like it didn't hurt very as much as I thought it would. So like I was like, okay, it's probably, I mean, it probably is the ACL, but I keep telling myself that it's not, because I like just want to hang on to that hope, because I don't want to be like depressed before I even know that it happened. But then at the same time, like recognizing that it could very well be an ACL, and I can't hold on to too much hope, because then when I do hear the news, I'm not gonna be prepared for it. But like my dad instantly was like, it's ACL, like it's not anything other than that. So he was already like preparing the house for surgery, and then my mom was very quiet about it. So she like kind of kept her opinions to herself. So like different opinions from everyone, but like me for sure was holding on to a little bit of hope, but also like I knew I needed to prepare for the worst.
What is the next steps for you, like surgery-wise and all that stuff?
Hopefully we're getting surgery in the next week or two, and then just after that will be lots of rehab, just try to get as strong as possible.
Injury-wise, what have you gone through? Is this like, this is obviously the biggest one,
Yeah.
but you know, what have you dealt with injury-wise as an athlete? Because I'm sure there's been other things.
I mean, I've broken a couple bones, but like those were like, I was in like middle school when that happened, so like it wasn't like, oh, last time you're ever gonna do that. And then I pulled my hamstring. Pretty good. What was that, sophomore year of track? So I was out for like a month with that, but I was still able to return to my sport. So definitely having an injury where it's like it ends 2 seasons is weird and has never happened before to me.
Yeah. How are you dealing with this? I mean, like you said, you have a ton of support, and I'm sure that's great, but also this is one of those things that like you have to do yourself.
Yeah.
How do you mentally prepare yourself for that? I mean, it just can't be easy at this point.
Yeah.
Knowing that you have so far to go. You know?
Yeah. There's definitely highs and lows, I would say. There's times where I'm like just trying to look for the best. like just been honestly like in the Word and just like knowing that like reminding myself that everything is going to happen for a reason. And like I was doing a devotional the other day, and like it was about like what are the situation God's puts you in to like be a vessel. And like honestly, like I can be a vessel in this by just like being the person that like I just need to like remain happy or like joy, like not maybe happy, but like just stay happy for like my teammates and be that person they can turn to on the bench, or being their just biggest cheerleader, and knowing like not hanging my head on this because like that's I'm not going to gain anything from that. And so like just looking for different ways that I can be a light to others during this situation, stepping out of my comfort zone and all those things. But definitely there are lows too. Like I'm not going to say that I've been walking through this with not struggling. On Saturday I had to watch 2 basketball games and going home, and I'm like, wow, I'm not going to play basketball anymore. And just having like that realization, and like something I really struggle with, I'm like the most independent person like anyone knows, and just like relying on people like around me, like asking for help has been really hard for me, and it's only going to get harder because I still have some mobility right now. But just like it's a learning process, and like through the learning process there's going to be days where I am feeling good and I am active and like am feeling happy, not happy, but like still have some joy. But like there are going to be days where I'm feeling it or not really having the motivation. So like just in those days where I do not have motivation, just like reminding myself that it has happened for a reason, and I do need to like look for the purpose that God has like done this, like had this happen to me, and just use it.
How do you feel like your faith is going to help you through this? Because I mean, I feel like that's a major part, and it's also a reason why you're so optimistic about this.
Yeah, it's definitely comforting, having faith to lean on, for sure. And just knowing, like, the constant reminder of it's happened for a reason. And, like, even with my small injuries, obviously I was not ecstatic that it happened in the moment. But as I went through it, I've always learned something from it. And I've become a better person because of it. And so, like, I can only see this as a way that's going to make me stronger as a person, spiritually and physically and mentally.
What was the conversation like with your college coach? Because obviously that relationship is, in the beginning stages, but at the same time, this is probably a conversation that they unfortunately have to have with athletes.
Yeah.
And how did that go for you?
Well, if I'm going to be completely honest, it was a conversation I didn't really want to have. Kind of just scared because, like, I didn't know how they were going to take it, and I was just kind of thinking the worst. I was like, they're going to take away my scholarship. I'm not going to be able to run. But, like, John told me, he's just like, well, people who tear the ACL, they can come back even faster. So I was like, that's good news. And so, like, when I called him, I, like, had to tell him it. And just, like, I was like, okay, so I'm just going to work really, really hard. I'm going to come back. It's going to be fine. Like, they're telling me that I'm going to be okay. Just, like, me, like, trying to, like, to let them know, even though they know that it's going to be okay. But, I mean, honestly, the conversation was, we kind of just went straight to logistics. It was like, okay, when you get to school, we're gonna take over your rehab. We're gonna get you strong, and all those things. I mean, yes, he was very like, we're so sorry, like that's not what we wanted to happen, but those are the cards we've been dealt. So we're just gonna have to move on from there.
I know this may be early to talk about, but just the career that you've had in high school and the career that you've had here, obviously that's over. So just as a Glenwood Titan, what will you take away from Chatham, and just knowing, you've had a pretty darn good career here.
Yeah.
And I know you wanted to end it on a higher note than this, but this doesn't take away from your accomplishments.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun competing for Glenwood. Just the community that we have here, and the community we've built over the past few years. It's definitely going to be hard walking away like this, but knowing that as a whole, like as my team, like we have accomplished so much. I'm not leaving with like any like regrets, or I'm not leaving with wishing that I would have been able to do more, because I mean, as a team, like, we've done more than maybe I thought we could have done before coming into high school. But it's definitely going to be hard leaving that community, for sure. Just having all the support here and the people that I've grown up playing sports with, and just like knowing that I'm not going to have those last games with them is going to be hard.
What was the conversation like with Coach Garber?
I mean, he's just there supporting me. He's gonna he knows that I need to like just get through this, and he's going to be there to support me, and he's going to continue to encourage me. And, I mean, it's hard because it's just going to be like, you just got to show up and be a good teammate. Just one of those things where just got to be the encourager, do what you can to be at practice and all those things. So we'll see how that goes during track season.
As you saw what your brother went through during football season, just knowing that, he has one more year, what conversations do you have with him now, just to say, hey, every time you get a chance to compete, no matter what, make the most of it, because it can be gone in an instant? Yeah,
I mean, honestly, we really haven't had that conversation. It's been a lot of Blake encouraging me, which has been sweet. But yeah, just he's one of like the person that he's been by my side the whole time, like sending me encouraging texts. I mean, because he's at school when I found out like what happened, and he sent me a really nice text, and he's been helping me at home doing all this stuff. So he definitely needs to realize that he's lucky that he got one more year, and he's always been like kind of hurt too, so kind of unlucky with that. With my parents were like, why does this always happen to my kids? But I know Blake will make the most of it his last season, so I'm excited to watch him play.
This may be a tough question to answer right now, but how do you try to make this a positive and make this something that you can be an inspiration and be a light to other people? Because I know, especially like through your faith, this is an opportunity.
I feel like the positives, I haven't really maybe found all the positives in it yet. I'm still kind of dwelling on the negatives, but just like showing that you don't have to maybe play on or be a part, not be a part of the team, but like maybe you don't have as many minutes, or maybe you don't get to run as many races as you want to, but you can still be a good teammate and still be a part of the team even through that. Just like, it just shows how much just being an encourager is. It's hard to be an encourager when maybe things aren't going your way, but I know I can learn that, because being like the most competitive person ever and just wanting to be a part of it, and I love to be in control, and that's something for sure I'm going to learn, is just surrendering that control to him, and just recognizing that he is in control and that I can't control every aspect of my life, which I've always tried to do. And so just recognizing that this is not in my control, and that's something I need to give to him, is just going to build my relationship with him even more. And then I'm hoping to be a light to other people, just like anyone who's going through an injury. Like, I'm not the only one who gets the season-ending injury. Like, that's happened to multiple people. And just like maybe hopefully like I can be a person they can see that, oh, she took this and she's not hanging her head at games, or she's showing up to everything. She's still being that leader. So hopefully I can be a light in that way.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry that this is the conversation we have to have.
No, it's okay.
Wish you best of luck, and can't wait to see what you do at Champaign.
Yeah, thank you.